Hello, I'm Coach Bev, and I'm coming to you from Regal Awakening Educational Coaching Services. I coach you as you coach your kids into reaching their goals using the knowledge and skills that I have obtained as a parent and veteran educator. With that being said, today we are going to talk about teacher pay. This is a very hot topic. Every year in the summertime, your congressman goes to meeting in a session to discuss what they're going to do about teacher pay. Unfortunately for us, a lot of times it doesn't always work out in our favor. When I became a teacher because I wanted to make a difference. Of course, I wanted to make a good living and I wanted to provide for my family, but I also wanted to make a difference in the lives that I taught. I have always heard that if you wanted to be a teacher, you needed to be married. And I've always heard that a lot of teachers had husbands that had money. I didn't understand this. I thought it was a myth until I became an educator. And then all of a sudden, it became ever so clear to me. It seems as if there is a cost to make a difference in the lives of the children that you affect every day. The first thing that I would like to say about this topic of teacher salary before we get into the logistics is that it's a calling. I believe that anybody that is an educator that wasn't called to do so may find a lot of difficulty in maintaining that position. Teaching is a profession that requires a lot from the people that decide to go into it. And it is very easy to get frustrated and to feel as if you are done with the whole profession, if indeed you are not supposed to be there. I say that teaching is a calling because you are going to be making an imprint in every person's life that you come into. And hopefully, it is an imprint that is going to make a difference in the kids that you come into contact with. I like to say that we plant seeds. I like to think that the things that I put into my students will take root one day and they may think back on it and they may decide, well, Miss Beelan wasn't as crazy as we thought she was. And they may decide to try some of the things that I have implanted into them. You guide kids, you give them guidance. It is very emotionally draining. In addition to guiding the kids, each child is an individual. Me personally, I like to get to know each and every child that I come into contact with. If I don't know them, how can I impact change in their lives? So therefore, I get to know each and every student individually, which means that each child has individual needs that I have to provide for them in order to help them to reach their highest level of success. It's draining, it's tiring. A lot of people who are married or you have friends and family, they say, why are you so tired? All you do is teach. You just sit behind a desk. I've heard all of these types of comments. But that is by far the least of what we do. Even if you do sit behind your desk, you should be calling your kids up one by one and talking to them and getting to know them and discussing their grades and their progress. So it is mentally draining to be an educator. This is one of the reasons why I say that it is a calling. If you're just there to write on a chalkboard and just to talk, you're not really doing much than a substitute teacher. So if you're going to be an educator, you need to take it very serious and focus on making a difference in the lives of the kids that you reach. Now, in the course of my 17 years of being an educator, I have had several moments where I say, You don't get paid for this. This is not in the paycheck. And when I say that, I am speaking of the intrinsic rewards of teaching. When your kids come up to you and say to you, Miss Bayland, I am going to college, and you know that this is a child that when you came into contact with them, they had no idea or no thought of going to college. The thought never even crossed their minds. That is a moment that makes everything feels worth it. But when your children come back to you and tell you that they appreciate what you've done to them, or they recognize that you are a great educator, those are the moments that's not covered in a paycheck. And if you could put a dollar amount on it, you wouldn't be an educator, because nobody would pay you that salary. The intrinsic rewards are great. Intrinsic rewards are the rewards that you feel internally that makes it all worth it. Just, oh my goodness, this is why I teach. And there are so many of those moments, and they are so worth it. Whenever you have to endure to receive them, it's marvelous when you get it. Now, to get into the logistics of teacher pay, I would like to point out a very important factor. It really depends on where you teach. And it doesn't necessarily mean what state you teach in. It can be as significant as the importance of which county you teach in. Now, I can only speak for my state, but teachers get paid in two different ways here. We get a state salary that the state goes to Congress and vote on whether or not they're going to give us a raise or not. The salary scale is set up in steps, and the teacher is supposed to ascend a step every year. Although that may not be possible if they don't get the budget passed, or if they don't feel like they want to give us a step increase. So every time the teacher goes up a step, their pay increases, supposedly. Now, this could be a good step, or it could be a menial step, meaning a couple of hundreds. And don't forget, everything is divided by 10, because teachers get paid on a 10-month salary. So when you hear the people discussing teacher salary and how low it is, they are more than likely referencing the state salary. That means that everybody in the state gets the same thing at step 0, step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Now, some states, sometimes when the money is low and we're going through financial situations in our counties or state or countrywide, whatever may be taking place at the time, you may get your step increase, but your pay may not go up with that step increase. Or I've seen some counties, like for 5 steps, you get the same thing. Now, this is, it really just varies from year to year. Now, I know you're wondering, if everybody is on the exact same pay scale, how do you all get paid different? Each county takes their money and funds the supplement pay. The supplement pay is the money that is given by your county. Depending on the type of money that your county has, that would determine whether or not you are satisfied with your supplement. The supplement has the ability to dramatically increase teacher pay. So it is very important that when you are looking from county to county, that you are paying attention to the supplement as well as the state pay. Combined together, those two make your salary. Now, if you are in a county that is able to compete for teachers that really need teachers, and they're willing to put forth the money, your supplement could be 20-30% of your budget. Your teacher supplement can significantly increase your teacher pay. Some supplements can range from 20 to 30, 18, 15%, This makes a very big difference. And these numbers can also represent a lifestyle change. That does mean that you may have to move and you may have to relocate. But that is not to say that all teachers do not make money. Now, some states pay you for a master's degree. Some states no longer pay for master's and doctoral degrees, and that is also a significant cost to their county because people want to get paid for the degrees that they went to school to obtain. If you are in a county that pays you for having a master's or a doctoral degree, that is definitely something that you may want to look for. When we went through the recession in the year of 2008, a lot of these things were cut. If you didn't have your master's degree, your PhD by a certain date, you weren't eligible to get paid for it. This is not fair. I don't think that is right. However, that is something that I think needs to be looked at so that we can begin to compete to get educators back in the classroom. So you need to look at the county that you may be considering teaching in to determine if you are getting the best compensation for your money. Now, teacher salary does vary from state to state. I know, for instance, if I went to Atlanta Public Schools, I would be making $10,000 more than I'm making right now. So I'm not a rich individual. That's a nice lump. That's a nice lifestyle change. And I am doing everything in my power to forget that if I move to Atlanta Public Schools, I could be making significantly more money because I currently like where I am and I think that my pay is fairly decent. So I haven't made the decision to try to jump up and make a drastic move like that. But if I did want a change of pace, that would definitely be something that I consider. Some states pay as if they want to recruit teachers. And when you want to recruit teachers, the money is there. But you need to be willing to relocate to go get it. But there is fair compensation for teaching. Now, the last thing that I would like to point out about teacher pay, and if I didn't mention this, I wouldn't be being honest with you, and we don't want that. Underappreciation is widely felt by educators. I know a lot of times I do feel underappreciated. For instance, when the governor can't work with the cabinet, the Congress, to come to terms on getting us a raise or getting us a step increase, and we have to go 2 and 3 years without getting a salary increase, that kind of makes you feel a certain kind of way. Also, when you do get a step increase and it's 2% or it's 1%, 20, 30, $40 extra a month, and we all know that that's just going to get eaten up by taxes, it kind of makes you feel like, And I do understand that there is a need to recruit new teachers, to get new teachers to come into the system. However, veteran educators oftentimes get cut out of that. For instance, everyone can get a raise, but if you've been teaching for 15 years or more, you're not included. But I have to live through a recession as well, Mr. Congressman, and I'm living with inflation. I'm currently paying over $3 at the gas tank, and I do like to get plus. So why do I not qualify for an increase? Things of that nature. Kind of makes you feel as if educators aren't appreciated, because at the end of the day, veteran educators carry a lot because we train other teachers, we are there for other teachers, we mentor other teachers, and the experience and the knowledge that we bring into the classroom cannot be denied. So I would like to definitely see veteran educators get treated a little as don't just overlook us in your process of trying to determine how you're going to recruit new teachers, because we are here, we've been here, and if we've been here this long, we'll probably in it for the 20 or 30-year haul so that we can collect those pensions. Okay. Oh, I'm glad I said pensions. If your state does not have a pension, okay. So, with that being said, I would just like to give a brief synopsis on whether or not I think that teacher pay is sufficient for everything that we do. And teachers do a lot. Meetings, we have to keep our license current, which means we have to attend a lot of professional development. Your principal could be meeting crazy, and you could be in a meeting 1, 2, 3 times a week after work, depending on your principal. Contacting parents, interacting with parents, working with other staff. We have to PLC, where we get into groups with other members of our team and come up with educational strategies, plan field trips. Some principals have their teachers knee deep in data. If you are at a Title I school, you may find that you have to do a lot of data and figuring out what you need to do, reflecting, change. There is a lot that goes into education in addition to dealing with classroom management and dealing with parents and dealing with all of the rigors. Some teachers don't even get a planning period. And I would like to take this time out to point out all of the work of elementary school teachers. I believe elementary school teachers deserve their own pay scale, their schedule, and the things that they have to cover to provide their foundation for those elementary kids. They deserve to be on their own pay scale because they work like no other teacher, middle or high school teacher. Now, with all of that being said, do I believe that teacher salary is worth everything? Is it worth it? If you are in a county that is making a concerted effort to pay a decent amount, and not like a third world county where you're getting bare minimum, because that is stressful. And even though I know that that's the best that they can do, I do understand why a lot of teachers leave those counties. Now, if you're getting decent compensation, I most definitely think that is worth it. I can't think of a better career where you can impact the change of people's lives. And this change can impact generations upon generations. I most definitely think that being an educator is worth it. And if I had the opportunity to do it again, I would do it again. And I thank God for putting it in me to be an educator. So, please stop saying that teachers don't make money. It's not all teachers. Some of us do get compensated fairly decently. Okay? I am Coach Bev, and I'm coming to you from Regal Awakening Educational Coaching Services. You can find me on Facebook at Regal Awakening. You can find me on YouTube at Regal Awakening, as well as Instagram. If you would like to leave a comment or let me know how you feel about something you don't agree, I would like that as well. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you aren't subscribing to the channel, I'd appreciate if you would subscribe so that every time I post a video, you will get notified. Thank you. Have a good day.